Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about Stranger Things. We watched Stranger Things 5 the other day, and it was actually pretty good. We were going to do a review, and then we got really busy over the holiday, but we might get around to doing a review. We're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, though, and how the Duffer brothers really didn't play Dungeons and Dragons. I think they play it like one time, they said. We're going to look at this clip. And this actually makes so much sense because there are a lot of things with Stranger Things. Like, look, I'm not trying to throw shade at these guys, but I thought it was very weird. They are in their early 40s. They just turned, I guess they're 41. So, what's weird about this is when they started Stranger Things, they were in their 30s, early 30s. To me, it kind of felt like they were kind of LARPing as Gen X, right? Because there were things about Stranger Things that I'm like, yeah, this is pretty accurate, but this is not accurate. And I guess it got to a point where Winona Ryder actually had to step in and be like, yeah, this isn't actually how things were back then. And I've caught a lot of that. Watching the show. And I try to just be like, okay, fine, suspension of disbelief. But a lot of the media references and a lot of the clothes and stuff like that, I'm like, this is not really how things were back then. It's kind of like we watched, TV shows about the 1980s, and then we decided to do a TV show about the 1980s based on the TV shows we've already watched in the 1980s. It didn't quite feel like they were there, but the show, I don't think the show's bad. I want to be clear about that. We actually watched, it's one of the few shows that we still watch together as a family. But the little things like this, like I caught this immediately. Yeah, I think I might have been actually one of the first ones to put it up. A lot of people are writing about it now, but Ghosts and Goblins, right? It was the one kid was playing Derek, the chubby kid. He was playing Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, except it was the arcade version of it, obviously. And I was like, is that Ghouls and Ghosts for the Genesis? Like that is kind of wild. But yeah, they were just running it on the screen. It wasn't even an authentic experience, unless this kid, because he's a rich kid, unless he had like a really super good Nintendo. He had like the super duper Nintendo beta that was never released or some crazy shit like that. He also had an arcade game. I think it was Hang On. He had it in his room. Now that's not too weird. When I was a kid, I had a pinball table in my room, and we had Asteroids and a Galaga cocktail in the garage. But there's a story behind it. The story is my grandfather had an auto body shop out of his garage next to the house. It was it was a massive garage. It was huge. And you could store probably 8 cars in that garage. Well, my uncle used that garage to do his moonlighting, which was he reconditioned, refurbished pinball tables and arcade machines. So his day job was actually working for a vending machine company. So yeah, he would store his stuff there. And every once in a while, if there was a unit that they wanted to throw out, he would refurbish it and he'd let us use it. And yeah, we weren't rich by any stretch of the imagination, but like people thought we were, because back then, even then, those cabinets were like $3,000, $4,000 cabinets, in 80s money. So anyway, we're going to talk about them not actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. And this is kind of, it kind of tracks. I mean, it's disappointing, but it's so weird that the people responsible for a resurgence in the popularity of Dungeons and Dragons did not actually play Dungeons and Dragons, but see also a lot of the Tumblr, D&D crowd, a lot of the people that gravitated toward Critical Role. They never touched tabletop before, but now they think they own the damn thing. So before we get to it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. And go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. Help support the channel. I'd rather you do this than super chats, because I don't know what they're going to do over at YouTube. Super chats are kind of dicey. So you can support us over there, get some paywalled content, and also we're getting our forums up and running. Patience, please. We're letting people in, kind of trickling people in a little bit, a couple a day, make sure things are working before we let everybody in. But check that out at more.clownfishtv.com. So I found this via Ben, Dungeon Noir. He says, disappointing, sort of like many people claim today, that they're in. The Duffers say in this interview that they never played D&D. They were Magic the Gathering kids. Well, that would track with their age, because Magic was huge in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm the opposite. I barely played Magic. I played it a little bit when it first came out, and I thought it was boring as F. I'm going to be honest. but I played D&D heavily. And yeah, these guys were born in 1984. So I'm like, unless you start playing D&D when you're like 5 years old, it's like, I don't think you were there for this. I don't think you were there for this. And I actually started playing younger. I was like 9 or 10, and we were playing at the lunch table. We had to wait after school for the bus, and so me and my friends would play D&D. But we were, I think, probably too young to be playing it. We didn't fully understand what we're playing. We thought that the modules were the game, but there's like a whole game you had to go buy to use the modules with. I think I told the story before, but yeah, these guys didn't even didn't play it, because I can tell you up front, those kids, they would not have had all those miniatures. I do not believe they would have had the money for all the miniatures and the whole table and the whole setup. That was something that came with more experience and money. And we know that Will Byers at least was broke as F, but whatever. Let's take a look at this clip.
Is there a D&D villain that you really wanted to include but couldn't?
Oh man, we did talk about a lot of them. I can't remember. Was it Vlad? Here's the weird thing. See, it's like we grew up actually playing Magic the Gathering.
I mean, yeah, at least he's on. I mean, look, I will give him props. At least he's honest. But to anybody that actually played back then, it shows. It does. Because there are so many little things in the show that they get wrong. That I'm like, look, dudes, I like your show. I'm not trying to shit on you if people are gonna send this video their way or whatever. Not like they're gonna have time to watch it. But would it have really hurt to spend, a couple $100,000 maybe to bring in some 50-plus-year-old nerds to be like, is this authentic? Yes or no? Was this Transformer available in this year? Yes or no? Was this arcade machine something that you would have seen in this year? Yes or no? They did this with it too, where they had a Mortal Kombat machine in like 1989. I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, little things like that nerds notice, and this is the demographic that they were kind of courting to, is the nerd crowd, and they're gonna trust us. We're gonna notice these things.
We did a dabble in D&D, but my D&D knowledge is embarrassingly low considering how important it is to the show.
Well, it wasn't actually supposed to be that big part of the show. It was just the kids were going to be playing D&D. And then they needed reference points to talk about and understand what was going on. And we'd established them playing D&D, and it just became increasingly a bigger part of the show.
Yeah, and I think that, again, this is kind of like the Critical Role effect, right? The Matt Mercer effect or whatever, where it was like, they're like, D&D, oh, we love that. And then they leaned into it, and then you had Hasbro making the Stranger Things, campaigns and all stuff. So at least they're being honest. I will give them that 100%. But yeah, it's not surprising. It really isn't.
But Vecna is like the granddaddy. That's the big one. And we cheated the time frame just a little bit because we're like, it has to be Vecna.
I mean, Thessal Hydra would have been cool.
Yeah.
Just as a callback to the...
Yeah.
I don't remember where you had the Thessal Hydra. He was definitely in it, though.
Yeah, season 1, I think.
Season 1.
So there we go. Just an interesting anecdote. I think that these guys didn't actually play D&D, and a lot of people were kind of calling them out on X. I think it's kind of funny actually, but yeah, Dungeon Delver says the Duffers say in this interview that they really never played D&D, that they were MTG kids. Dungeons & Dragons was originally supposed to be just kids having a way to give context to the monsters they were seeing. Then when the D&D aspect of the show became so central to the fan base, they leaned into it. Yeah, it's disappointing. Yeah, it is. Because what's going on, and this is just kind of and I've done videos on this before, but it does feel like the idea of D&D is what's being sold by Hasbro now. The idealized version of D&D, and I keep telling people the version of D&D, AD&D that Eddie was playing in season 4, it doesn't exist anymore. That's not what you're buying. When you go to the store and buy a brand new copy of D&D, you're buying 5e or whatever, 5.5, 6e, whatever the hell it's called now. That is not the game that Eddie played. Eddie was playing old school D&D, and I'm going to be honest, today's gamers couldn't hack it. It's really like, it's so offensive, guys. And it's been nerfed. It's been completely nerfed. But I see them selling like basic sets and Stranger Things flavored D&D sets and all this stuff. And it's like, it's so fake because it's not it's not what they were actually playing on the show. But apparently they weren't really playing real D&D anyway, because nobody knew how to play it on the set. So there we go. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.